Week 4 is here, okay? We're in the midpoint. Now, the teams have been fairly stable. There's only one new team in the top 20 rankings, the top 10 for Division 2 and Division 1. Only one new team entered this week. So as you can see, things are starting to get consistent when it comes to the rankings. Now, let me explain something about the rankings. When you look at the record, some people have asked me about this. It's win, tie, losses. Okay, traditionally here in the United States, people do like win, loss, tie. I use win, tie, losses, just like the rest of the world. Here are your top 10 rankings this week. Enjoy them.
Not a whole lot of movement of new teams, but teams moving up and down. Penn State University, New Kensington, they had an even week, still with a winning record. Moved down 2 spots from last week. Same thing with NCTI, New Hampshire University Technical Institute Concord. They have a winning record, but they moved down just 1 spot, and they're now sharing the number 8 spot with the only new team in the entire rankings for Division 1 or 2, the Bucks County Community College. 1 win, even record, strength of schedule, pretty solid, but this is the only team that has made it so far to the rankings. So people keep asking me every week, why do you have Johnson and Wells? Is it because you live in Charlotte? No, it's because they have the number 1 strength of schedule, like games played in the entire country. They haven't win a whole lot of games, but they challenge themselves. You can look at the strength of schedule between them and Albany. Albany has a lot more wins and a winning record, but the record is almost the same, because if you play stronger teams, you get more points. The more teams you play, the stronger they are, the more points you get in the rankings. Brings me number 5. Beaver drops down from number 2 from last week, even though they had a winning record, solid record, but the strength of schedule dropped, and that's what they dropped in the rankings. And they got overtaken by 5 Towns College, who comes back to the top 4 for the first time this year. They had a perfect week, and now their yearly record, it's 3 wins, 0 ties, and 1 loss. Another team that had a fantastic week, it's in fact the best week of any team in the Division 2, PSU Greater Allegheny, 3 games, 3 wins, strength of schedule went up, and the yearly record keeps improving. Berkeley Knights, the only team that has counted all their games with wins. They moved to tie for number 2, and they're inching closer to a number 1. They're actually the number 1 ranked team in the national bursts. And Penn State Brandywine, again your number 1 team. Fairly good week, 2 wins, 1 tie, yearly record 6-2-2, strength of schedule very solid. So no new teams, no movement at all. Quinn College still holds the number 10th place, no games played, still 1-0 record. And hopefully there's a lot more teams that start playing sometime soon, so we can see some more movement at the Division 1 level. The Manor College, 1 win, 1 loss this week, still with an even record. Strength of schedule pretty solid. They moved down the rankings. They actually alternated in the rankings with the next ranked team, which are Carlow University Celtics. People ask me, why do you have a team ranked with that many losses? They play tough opponents week in, week out, and that's the thing. If you play all your games against cupcakes, you get a lot of wins, but when you play tough teams, sometimes you lose, and that's what they've done there. They challenge themselves. Mississippi University for the women, perfect week, 3-0-1, still a strong strength of schedule. Another team that is challenging themselves with tough games. Bryan and Strong College Albany, losing record but a strong strength of schedule. They had an even week last week with 1 loss, 1 win, but they keep challenging themselves. They're playing tough opponents, and that's why they are ranked so high in the rankings. They actually alternate with Deweyville. They didn't play, but the strength of schedule held the same, and Bryan Strong went down a little bit, and Deweyville still has a winning record overall. Bryan and Strong Syracuse, their first tie. They were one of the only 2 teams with all wins, but they got a tie last week against a really good opponent, so strength of schedule is still pretty solid, and hopefully they get a few more games to see if they can separate themselves from the rest. Last week I mentioned that I haven't seen University of Maine Fort Kane had a losing week in ever. They go back to winning, 4-2-2, 1-0 for the week, solid strength of schedule, number 3 in the rankings. Number 2, St. Mary of the Woods. They play two solid opponents, perfect week, yearly record, very, very solid, and the strength of schedule is 2nd highest overall amongst all divisions. And then number 1, they've been in week 1, 2, 3, and also week 4, Florida National. They picked up another loss, but they keep challenging themselves, and the strength of schedule is highest in the country by almost 30 points. Well done so far. Here's the composite ranking. So as you can see, there's a lot of movement outside the top 3. In the biggest movement this week inside of the top 10 from last week, Berkeley College Knight. They play another game, another win, and they keep moving up. Penn State University Greater Allegheny, they're not that far behind, just in number 5, move up a few spots. The Sound is the biggest team that moved up from not being ranked last week. Maine Fort Kane, Bryan Strong Syracuse, and Penn State Beaver all fell a little bit in the rankings. Another team that was not ranked last week, Deweyville, moves up to number 10, but that is your top 10 composite rankings right there.
So those are your teams this week. Keep in mind, I only rank teams and I only put them in a certain record if their record is officially recorded in the USCAA national website. There's a link in the description for you to be able to see what those results are. I have teams that have emailed me and say, hey Luis, but we've won a few more games here and there. I'm like, I'm taking the official records from the USCAA. Okay, so 4 more weeks to go. Okay, we'll do a mid-show ranking again. Hopefully there'll be new teams that make it into the top 6, and who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Have a good week. Bye.